Filming on the 15-year lie movie has begun, and we get to see some really cool things in this Oshinoko chapter. Director Taishi being boss as always, Akane vs Kana continues in full flow, and we also see Ruby's first ever performance as Ai, but how does that go down? Now, we of course had a break from the last chapter where we got to see some of the characters in costume for the first time, including Ruby dressed as Ai, which blew everyone away as Ruby was literally the spitting image of her mother here. Sadly, we didn't get to see Aqua's reaction to this, as I was very intrigued to see, what his take on this would have been, but it's okay though. So chapter 129 begins with a fierce image of Akane in her costume playing Takamine, one of the original Bikamachi members. She says, "Hey, are you listening?" Here she is rudely talking to Nina, who was another member of the band. Now the fun thing here is that Nino is of course being played by Kana, so we're getting that rivalry early on. However, the dynamic of the characters is harshly in Akane's favor. Takamine is scolding Nino for leaving the bottle cap of her water bottle off on the table and even picking on her hair, saying that it's out of place, that it looks stupid. Poor Nino, man. Takamine is all like, seriously, you can't do anything without me. And then we see Memcho, who is playing another of the band members, Mei, saying, "Takamine-chan, don't tease her too much, will ya?" There's a great panel of Memcho here as well, by the way. Takamine says, "I'm not teasing her, I'm being harsh because I love her." She continues to say that, "I think that naivety of yours is cute, but I'm telling you this because you'll never get a boyfriend if you act like this." Nino just says, "I'm sorry," as she stares off to the side, and then we hear the scene cut and the actors drop out of character. Though this is the script, we clearly see in this panel that Kana does not appreciate having to play this role to Akane. It's almost as if the words she was taking from her here were a little personal at times. This scowl of hers is dead intense, and we know that Kana can kill a person with that scowl of hers, right? As their scene comes to a close, we move over to Miyako and Ruby, who here looks like the spitting image of Ai. Like, at first glance, you could easily make the mistake here. Miyako tells Ruby to pay attention to her surroundings, as she will also have to be at that level when it comes to playing Ai. The next panel has this really intense shot of Ruby, who nods in agreement, but there was just something about this panel that really stood out to me. It's the focus, the intent, the purpose to absolutely give her first performance the best shot she can, and I'm sure there's also some nerves hidden somewhere in there as well. I know I personally felt really nervous for Ruby. So going back to the girls who had just finished their scene, Memcho is freaking out, asking Akane and Kana if she did well. Akane says, "Yeah, I think you did okay," and Kana is as straight as always, saying, "Well, you didn't have such long lines, and your character is pretty much close to you anyway, so it should have been pretty easy." She then continues by throwing shade at Akane, saying, "I mean, take a look at Akane's character's nasty personality. If she wasn't nasty to begin with, she wouldn't be able to perform this well." And I gotta say, it's honestly any opportunity to do so with these two, isn't it? I absolutely love the interactions between Kana and Akane, always trying to one-up the other. I always feel like Kana is way more nasty and smug, but when Akane bites back, it's like a freaking dagger, man. Always love watching these two go at it, because you just know that when push comes to shove, these two are low-key gonna end up as besties by the end of Oshinoko. I'll be mad, honestly, mad if it doesn't end up that way. Back to the chapter, Akane here says, "I'm not nasty, don't be rude." Kana calls her out saying, "Liar, you look so happy when you're teasing me." And Akane's like, no, that's not true, but we see her inner thoughts where she admits that she totally enjoys it, and I think we all knew that that was the case. And now we turn our attention to Ruby, who is about to make her debut performance as Ai nonetheless. She has read the script as much as she could in preparation for this and practiced as much as she could. She feels like she is ready, and she thinks to herself, "I can do this." Her opening line is a simple one. It's, "Good morning, guys." And as she blurts the line out, the scene is cut straight away. Ruby's like, "Wait, what?" She's told that they're starting again, so please go back to your starting position. So she's like, okay. So she says the line again, cut, again, cut, and again, cut. Something is missing. What's going on here? We see this really gloomy and defeated looking Ruby here. Kana asks, how many times have you done this line now? To which we find out it's 13. Kana says, oh, you're stuck then. And Ruby replies saying, I can't help it, okay? This is my first ever performance. This is not going well and it's hard to watch. Even Memcho says, how long are you going to do this? Because I have butterflies in my stomach. And I think we all do here. This really isn't going well for Ruby at the moment. So we find out that we're not going to go any further until the director is satisfied. But what's displeasing him? Ruby asks one of the assistants and also says, could you tell him to give me more detail on what to do? So this guy asks the director over the phone and he looks a little flustered here as he says, what? Are you sure? I'll tell her as is? Okay. Director Taishi's instruction is that I was dumber. She didn't think about anything, so you shouldn't read too much into it either. That's all. Ruby is shocked to hear this and is startled that she had to keep repeating the line because of this little thing, but this then turns into anger pretty quickly as we see this really badass panel of Ruby with a frown and intensity in her eyes, as she says he doesn't understand Mama at all. These two both see I in a completely different way, as Ruby says that I was always thinking about things. She wasn't dumb, she was just hiding all kinds of feelings. With this frustration and anger at Taishi for not seeing I the way that she saw her, she delivers her line, and this time she absolutely smashes it. In this panel, I think this is the most Ruby has ever looks like I. Like, without context, you could look at this panel and you'd be like, yeah, that's Ai Hoshino from Oshinoko. However, no, this is Ruby, and damn, what a panel this is. It really looks like we're looking at a flashback of Ai herself. Ruby is also blown away by how she just delivered this line. She is shocked as she looks at the palm of her hand in disbelief. It's as if she has just unlocked what she was missing to bring Ai's character to life. Kana says, oh my, that was good, wasn't it? She explains that that's how the director is. He just wants to film the real thing. He wants to capture Ai Hoshino's true feelings in a frame. And you can see it in Ruby. Looking at Ruby, she also thinks that her acting just now felt right. She added the missing emotion in order to play Ai Hoshino. Memcho asks about this missing emotion, to which Akane says anger. I'm sure Ai Hoshino was hiding her anger in her heart. Now, if anyone's going to pick up on this, it's of course Akane, as we saw early on in the story when she broke down just what Ai was like when she needed to shake up her own performance in Love Now. I honestly don't think anyone has a better judge of character than Akane when she really dives into a person. Now, Kana continues to explain that the director was trying to teach Ruby from the very get-go that acting depends on emotions and that she needs to understand Ai Hoshino and pick up her emotions. She says this is the kind of move you'd expect from Aqua's mentor. The way these two do things is pretty much the same, and you can clearly see that here. Now, as she continues, we get this almost demonic looking panel of Ruby that I guess looks like she is in the zone, that she has unlocked the missing components, not only performing as Ai, but I guess you could argue becoming her in a sense. Now, the chapter ends as Kana says that they all better watch out as this director is a tough nut to crack, as we see this shot of Taishi looking like a complete boss. Now, I can't state enough just how much I love his character, man, and this was a really great chapter for him despite him not really being in it at all. Just one simple yet powerful moment elevates his character and reminds us that this is a dude who is damn good at what he does. Overall, a great chapter this one. Not a lot really happened, but we got a huge moment or lesson, I guess you could say, for Ruby, which is going to be huge moving forward. I honestly really can't wait for more of her performance. Noticeably, no Aqua at all in this one. You know, I was looking forward to seeing his reaction to Ruby dressed as Ai, but I think they're probably going to get Ruby to the point where when she's on set acting as Ai, she ultimately becomes her, and Aqua won't see her perform as Ai until his first scene with her as, of course, Hikaru, which is going to be a really tasty one for sure. How is he going to react to that? This is going to be super interesting, man. We, of course, got to see more Akane-Kana action, which is always really good to see. I'm sure we'll get some more moments between the pair before we shift into the darker, grittier stuff that this arc will contain. But what did you think of this chapter? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and while you wait for the next video to drop, why not check out this video where I talk about the real reason why Ai was written out of Oshinoko so early, despite how amazing a character she is. But guys, that's it from me. I'll see you soon for some more. Till then, you take care. Peace.